Welcome to a new video, and in this video we're gonna talk about a new generation of Yamaha Tracer 9, Tracer 9 GT and Tracer 9 GT Plus. I run tours business, and as a main vehicle for this business we use Yamaha Tracer motorcycles. I was spending a lot of time riding these bikes myself, because sometimes we go in on just tours, sometimes we do scouting tours, sometimes we travel to countries with well-developed infrastructure, sometimes you go into countries where infrastructure is like somewhere on the way, because I'm based let's say in the center of Balkans, Montenegro, and around here we have countries such as Bosnia, Serbia, Croatia, Albania, Macedonia, Kosovo. Like all those countries, they have different level of, let's say, road infrastructure development, and that's where when we travel we're able to put these bikes through the test, starting from beautiful coastal highways to kind of rough mountain roads, like which are not very well maintained. And over the years using these bikes, I was able to kind of get a picture what these bikes are all about. In 2025 there is update to the Tracer lineup. In some markets they only sell top trim of these bikes, in some markets they only sell base version of these motorcycles. It is still sport tourers, it is still CP3 platform, it is still the bike for for traveling, for riding in the mountains, on the twisty roads and serpentines. I think this niche became quite competitive because for a long time in adventure world, Yamaha was one of very few brands who've been producing sport touring motorcycles, and that's where a Tracer was quite popular, because there is like not so many choices but Tracer, right? But in recent years, other players like Honda, BMW, Triumph, they brought to the market like bikes which are sport tourers. So they took adventure platforms such as Africa Twin, and based on this platform they introduced a touring motorcycle or sport touring motorcycle, which is NT 1100. Then Triumph came up with Tiger 660s, and they decided to do Tiger 800, and then you have BMW F900, 1000 XR. Then you have even, you can see GS became sort of more sportier version of GS. Reality is not so many people actually use adventure motorcycles to their full potential, and also those big adventure motorcycles, they never see the gravel, they never see dirt roads. No, they just like stay on asphalt. That happens that Yamaha now has more competition, and they have more boundaries to push, and I believe that in 2025 that is what they actually did. I will go through comparison like base version of Tracer 9, then we have GT, and if you get GT, how much more you get with GT version for the money you pay, and then GT Plus, of course, right? And then how much more you pay if you buy GT Plus. And then of course I will do a comparison what features you can actually have on all motorcycles and which features are only specific for certain model, and probably try to explain why. One more thing which I'm gonna show you in the end of this video, so you sort of need to watch till the end, which model is the most popular here in Europe. Again, I'm not gonna do much of technical comparison. I'm more interested in user experience, right? As average user, when you get this motorcycle, you probably have goal either commute or travel or do a little bit of both. So what you get and how you feel about it and what sort of difference will be noticeable. 2021 platform was sort of rebuilt from the ground up. As you remember, Yamaha claimed that they upgraded like up to 70% of the parts of the motorcycle, including engine. It was like new era for Tracer 9. Before it was Tracer 900, and then they drop the zeros, and now it's like Tracer 9. So that's how they actually show you that they changed the platform. Before it was based on MT-09 platform, now it's sort of like on its own, like completely different lineup, independent from MT series. And 2025 became sort of like next version or evolution of what Yamaha presented in 2021. I'm gonna use my notes just not to forget anything. So this platform has better headlight, it has, as Yamaha claims, better sitting position. It has certainly better dash and more tech related to the dash. It has better handlebar ergonomics because there is like new set of switch gear or new generation of switch gear from 2025 on almost all Yamaha motorcycles. It has better suspension. The bike certainly got upgraded look, like all of them have a little bit more modern design. In general, got more electronics in all departments. Also, what's new for 2025, we've got opportunity to get automatic version. It is still sport touring, it is still amazing CP3 engine, it is still fun and capable bike, which we all like, but also can be quite friendly in all other situations. Now we have Tracer 9 and we have Tracer 9 Y-AMT. Y-AMT stands for Yamaha Automatic Manual Transmission. Just for simplicity, I will call it as automatic. So then we have Tracer 9 GT and Tracer 9 GT Automatic. And then we have Tracer 9 GT Plus as a like top trim of this platform, and it's only available as automatic. And I will probably later try to give you my opinion why is that so. How do I personally see those three categories? So you have Tracer 9 and Tracer 9 Y-AMT. What is actually interesting is that Y-AMT version has a little bit more features on top of base version. So that's how I think Yamaha tries to bridge the gap between base like Tracer 9 and Tracer 9 GT, because if you take Tracer 9 Y-AMT, it is like so much closer to base version of Tracer 9 GT. And then you have Tracer 9 GT and GT Plus, right? But between them, you have Tracer 9 GT Automatic, which also has some few more features which kind of make it closer to GT Plus. Tracer 9, in my opinion, it is a versatile platform which is super simple to maintain, super simple to fix if needed, or it's probably the platform where you have nothing to which can go wrong, right? Because there is like minimum electronics in those bikes. It basically gives you everything you need, because even base version of Tracer 9 this year in some areas better than GT version from the previous years. And the good thing about base platform is that it can be actually a platform on top of which you can build whatever you want. For instance, if I'm only riding in city, if I'm getting GT version, I need to spend quite a bit of money to put the top box here, maybe buy some other things which I actually need in town. It's gonna be more reasonable to start with the base version, because that's where you get the minimum of what you need, and if you need more, you can just like spend money a little bit on other things which you're gonna use, but you not overpay for the things you don't use. Tracer 9 GT, in my opinion, it is touring bike which everyone needs. It's like middle, like golden middle in some way. So it's basically the motorcycle which will be enough for any type of touring. Especially if you get it with Y-AMT, so you'll have most of the features from GT Plus, but same time it's going to be more reasonable on price, and also you're probably not going to spend money on features which you don't really need. And GT Plus, in some way, it is sort of, I mean, it's just like flagship bike, right, for Yamaha. Not only Tracer lineup, but in general for Yamaha motorcycles lineup. It's basically this flagship which they want to have, which they produce to, you know, set the bar in sport touring and touring segment for the upper kind of section of middleweight bikes. That's where Yamaha basically pushed the boundaries, right? So they put the most technology they could, and they really trying to compete with the big players or luxury or premium players from this market niche. Part of it is why they only offer that bike as automatic gearbox, because that is like ultimate touring motorcycle, which you probably gonna use only on long distance trips. But it has so much technology which you're not gonna utilize in town sometimes. Technology which can be mostly used while traveling on highways, when you ride in higher speeds, and where you sometimes even travel two up. So like all those features make Tracer 9 GT Plus is sort of one of the leading sport touriers, if not the leading sport tourier in today's touring market. As Yamaha says, Tracer 9 is actually what most riders need. And that is kind of interesting saying and positioning, and in some fashion I probably agree with them. Because if you take, for instance, North America, where previously this bike was selling as GT Plus version, like only GT Plus was available. So 2023, 2024, Yamaha sold them only as GT Plus, like the best of the best from what they have. But what's interesting for 2025, they supply base version to the United States instead of GT Plus, but as a package they install some of the features from higher trims. For instance, they put panniers as a standard. They're saying, like, that's what most people need. And probably because in the United States you have quite a good presence of like other brands with a variety of motorcycles like Triumph, BMWs, Ducatis. Probably Yamaha could not compete in that upper segment, which they can do in Europe, because in Europe Yamaha has quite a good reputation. Yamaha has very uh, big fan base, and to be honest, for Europe, for Yamaha is one of the key markets. So that's why they so active here. That's why here in Europe we have all possible variations of this bike. Tracer 9, compared to the previous generation, to the previous year, or like previous platform, first of all, it comes with adjustable windscreen, and Yamaha claims it's like new shape, new design, it's much better wind protection. And I already, in one of the videos, I already demonstrated it, so it's actually really good. It's still manually adjustable, but it is like new upgraded version, right? New bodywork and aerodynamics. So Yamaha say that they tested this motorcycle in a wind tunnel, and they intentionally did the front a little bit wider than previous generation, so it's kind of creates this kind of cocoon, so you're more protected from the wind when you ride this motorcycle. Adjustable suspension, it comes as a standard even on base version, and Yamaha again says that they revised it and they adjusted some settings, so doesn't matter whether it's electronic one or manual one, it's still new kind of feedback from the suspension which you get. Of course, upgraded front end, so upgraded headlight with LED lights, and also corner lights now come standard even on a base version, which was not the case in the previous years, because that was only available on GT version of the motorcycle. New TFT 7-inch TFT dash, which is same on all models. And again, last year it was a little bit different, like split dash, which many people did not like. I personally told you already that I had really good, let's say, relations with that dash, liked it a lot, especially when you really stay long on the road, and the way how you can set it up and organize. For me, yeah, it may be not the most attractive look, but functionally it was really good. USB-C charging port, which comes as a standard on all motorcycles, including the base version. Bikes now have ride modes. To be honest, they did have ride modes in the previous generation as well, but it was a little bit more complicated. Now you just like push of the button. Like here on the right side, you have a button, you push it like one time, you have one mode, two times, second mode, three times. So I already shown it in my previous video. And now they introduced also emergency stop signals, even on the base version. When you really do emergency braking, your indicators will start to blink. So cars behind you or other motorcycles knows that something is happening, they can slow down as well. New shape of the seats, and also they have more space, especially for the passenger, because they try and kind of bring like two upright into this motorcycle, so they even extended subframe for 40 millimeters, making the bike a little bit longer. Not only cruise control on all motorcycles, but also speed limiter. So let's say when you're traveling, sometimes you don't really want to go over certain speeds, you can set the speed limit, and you can ride however you want. But if at some point you're close to the limit, the bike will cut you, you know, from going further. Like if you put the speed limit like 100 kilometers per hour or 60 miles per hour, once you close to this number, so the bike would not go faster. So it's like that's your limit. Sometimes this bike can be fun, and I would say in many cases it can be fun. So you sort of want to have some additional control over how fast you want to go, right? New generation of handlebar switch gear, which in my opinion quite nice, quite intuitive, and once you get used to it, is like so easy, especially like this left side with the joystick, home button, and like all these other buttons. Remember previously it was only scroll wheel on this side, which wasn't really practical. I mean, you can live with it. It was not like a big deal, but still, like now it's much more convenient. So they introduced it not only on Tracers, but also other motorcycles such as MT-09, MT-07, T7, like almost all motorcycles from 2025 gonna have like new generation of switch gear. And if you get Tracer 9 Y-AMT automatic version, you also have heated grips as a standard, and also self-canceling indicators. So they also come as a standard. And what is interesting is in some markets, Tracer 9 base version is available, but Tracer 9 Y-AMT is not available because Yamaha want to push you to buy GT version automatic, or sometimes even GT Plus automatic. But in some markets where they obviously could not sell GT Plus or even GT, in like less developed countries, they offer you base version with automatic gearbox, because you know people still want to ride automatic, and why not to offer them this opportunity. So now we move towards Tracer 9 GT lineup. It basically has everything base version offers, but each of those functions come with a little bit more premium set, right, or setup. A GT variant will come with matrix headlights. It's been on the cars for maybe a decade at least. If you put it in automatic mode, it understands whether there is, you know, cars coming towards you or there is car in front of you. I like how it works. I'm still testing it at the night because I want to give it a little bit more time before I can actually give you my resume on or my feedback on what I like about it and what I don't like about it. But the thing is, it is there. On top of base screen, TFT 7-inch screen, which we have on all motorcycles, GT version comes with Garmin navigation, and from this year Yamaha offer it as a free feature. Before, if you don't know, it was only available as a subscription option. So even if you get motorcycle which technically has Garmin navigation built in, you can only use it if you have subscription. If you don't have any subscription, if you don't pay for the subscription, you're not gonna use it. But now it's free for everyone. Like even I think for 2024 GT Plus, it's now can be activated for free. The bike also comes standard with third generation of quick shifter. Of course, it is also adjustable suspension, but it also KYB semi-active suspension. Starting from GT trim, Yamaha introducing keyless kind of features on this motorcycle. By keyless, I mean that you don't really need to use your key, like physical key. You have the key in a pocket like this, and you have kind of knob here which allows you to start the bike. Even if you want to like open fuel tank, you do it without the key. You just saw I did it. And same related to the panniers. Also from GT trim we have now electronically adjustable windscreen. So when you ride the motorcycle, when the motorcycle is active, you can use this joystick, and you can leave the screen or you can put it down, depends what you prefer. GT version also equipped with kind of better looking seats, so it's the same shape actually, same design as a base version, but it's just like has different material, and it looks a little bit more premium. It also has additional USB-A type plug on the right side in this glove box or phone pocket. So on a base version it can be optionally added, so you still have mounts there like where you can fit it, but you need to actually buy and install it. And of course GT version comes standard with the panniers. So again, that's all on top of what base version has, right? So it's not like some features are not available here and there. It's just like the same set of features, but on top of what you have on base version, GT just makes it even better. And then if you choose GT version with Y-AMT transmission, Yamaha gives you few more features which not available on GT manual, right? So Y-AMT version, which is automatic, it comes with a backlit switch gear, which is nice. It also comes with intelligent braking system, what Yamaha call it, right? So it means that you have linked brakes front and rear, and whenever you brake, it will distribute the braking power between front and rear wheels. So you don't really need to do it yourself. You can only operate with the front one or with the rear brake, but Yamaha will automatically, or the bike will automatically add a little bit of pressure either to the front or to the back, depends which one is in priority. And then you have vehicle hold control. Because that bike is automatic, right? You don't have clutch, and if you want to start uphill, the bike will hold the rear brake for you until you actually start moving. So it just gives you a little bit more help to go uphill. And I think this feature is quite helpful, especially if you're riding with a passenger, or if you are loaded with a luggage, so the bike becomes heavier. And what is interesting, this feature is not available on Tracer 9 base automatic. So again, you see it's everything you have on base version, but a little bit better. Tracer 9 GT Plus. So Tracer 9 GT Plus has everything Tracer 9 can offer, Tracer 9 GT can offer, and on top of that we have radar. And with radar you have number of safety features which makes that bike probably the most intelligent bike, certainly within the Yamaha lineup, but also maybe among competition as well. You have radar, and with the radar you have adaptive cruise control, which is really nice when you're touring, when you're staying on highway and traffic in front of you can change, so the bike will automatically adjust the speed. When sometimes it will slow down, sometimes accelerate a little bit based on your settings. That is one of the differences which radar gives you. But also you have blind spot monitoring systems. It understands that if there is vehicles in front of you, on the sides of you, in your blind zones. So as we mentioned, on Tracer 9 GT you already have like linked braking system, which is already kind of good feature to have. But when you add radar technology to that, what happens? So radar controls situation in front of you, right? It also talks to IMU system, so it understands the bike, like how much bike is leaning, how fast you go, how fast the vehicle in front of you approaching, or how fast you approaching that vehicle. It adjusting suspension, so it knows that, oh, you coming closer to a vehicle in front of you, and you coming towards that vehicle too fast, so you're probably gonna brake. And the moment you hit the brake, just even a little bit, it adds a little bit more pressure just to make sure that you will stop or decelerate with the proper timing, so you're not gonna hit vehicle in front of you. And same time, it distributes power, like braking power, between front axle and rear axle, but also it adjusts suspension settings. So it stiffens up front suspension to help you to keep bike horizontal even if you brake hard. Same principle is being used on BMW GS motorcycles. So they have so-called telelever suspension, right, in the front, which doesn't allow bike to dive. And what Yamaha did, they decided, okay, let's use electronics. So let's make sure that radar can detect when you actually need harder suspension, when it understands that some emergency braking might happen. Then let's see how we can distribute this power, like braking power, for two axles. It's not gonna slip, it's not gonna dive, so you're not really gonna like lose control over the road surface, right? So which is really good feature. I think it's one of the interesting solutions which Yamaha has, certainly in terms of safety. Also, one of the features which is there is low maintenance chain, and the goal for the chain is to be sort of alternative to shaft drive, right? Because we know that most long bikes or touring bikes which are meant to be ridden on a long distance, they typically come with a shaft drive. But shaft drive, if it's broken somewhere, it's like really hard to fix, especially if you're in the places which are not well developed. It's also expensive to fix. It adds quite a bit of weight to the motorcycle. What Yamaha says, okay, I mean, we can find solution which can also work on the long distances. It can be sort of alternative to shaft drive, but we're gonna maintain Yamaha reliability and simplicity and all like that philosophy which Yamaha has. So let's just add much more durable, much more long-lasting chain. And I mean, they're not first in that. Of course, BMW offers that as an option to many of their motorcycles. I'm not sure whether it's like exactly the same principle or like how durability of those chains are similar. But anyways, like this solution is existing, and if things that you can even install the chain or buy it separately and install it on GT version and even base version if you want. But with the GT Plus, it comes as a standard. And one more feature which comes as a standard, but actually can be installed on all other motorcycles. It is a tire pressure monitoring system. So it also comes as a standard with GT Plus. So basically, as you can see, is like GT Plus has kind of more intelligent features in terms of safety, and also it only comes with automatic gearbox. And the reason why, I think, my personal opinion, because on GT Plus you have radar and you have blind spot monitoring system which talk to IMU system, and IMU system also talks to automatic gearbox, right? So on the reason why Yamaha want automatic on GT Plus, first of all, because it makes it premium. Like most big bikes nowadays, especially from like this upper premium segment, they all offer automatic version. Secondly, probably on GT Plus there is like smoothest possible way how you can integrate it, right? Because thanks to radar features, bikes can predict certain scenarios, so it can downshift, upshifts, not only based on how you ride motorcycle, but also based on road conditions or traffic conditions. So that's where it allows you to do it much more smoother than even on base variant or GT variant. And that is my opinion why Yamaha kind of not afraid to offer automatic version only. And many people sort of against automatic. They say no, it's not fun. It's not what Yamaha should be. It makes the bike feels like a scooter. And I would say you that if you think this way, you're wrong. You have to try how it works. And I already have video on my channel where I'm testing Y-AMT. And I would say that that is a really good gearbox. I mean, I would not suggest you to compare it to DCT because Honda uses a little bit different philosophy. You need to understand what Yamaha tries to do with these motorcycles. You have to understand that is like Yamaha Tracer has no goal to be Honda Goldwing or Honda NT1100. It doesn't have goal to be BMW GS. So Yamaha is sort of following their own philosophy. It should be fun, it should be reliable, it should be easy to maintain, and yeah, it should give you this kind of enjoyment of riding the motorcycle. And that's why Yamaha probably would never introduce dual clutch transmission like Honda did. Every brand wants to differentiate themselves from other brand. Otherwise, it's going to be all like the same thing, right? And Yamaha been always about fun, about have a little bit of spark and sportiness in their motorcycles. And exactly Y-AMT allow you to feel that. So again, I'm not trying to convince you that Y-AMT is the best kind of automatic transmission which you have on the market, because it's actually partially still manual. The only one part of this transmission is kind of automated, but the core of the transmission is still manual. And when people ask me whether, you know, like manual plus quick shifter is better than Y-AMT, I would say that in some way equal, depends what you want to use this bike for. And to be honest, I would be having so much fun with either of them. I will be having so much fun riding manual with a quick shifter or even without quick shifter. And I will have equal fun riding Y-AMT, but with Y-AMT I have just kind of more, if I want, I can be more relaxed. I can just forget about switching the gears, I can cruise on highway, and like the bike will do everything for me and it will do it perfectly, right? Yeah, it's not like silky smooth, but it should not be like any manual gearbox is not silky smooth. That's the reality. Let's talk about what bike probably should you choose. What is the prices for these motorcycles, and if you get any of those streams like Tracer 9 versus GT versus GT Plus, what you're gonna miss, right? Because of course those bikes allow you to install all their additional kind of options and extras which Yamaha has in their catalog. It can be heated seats, like can be installed on our motorcycles. Quick shifters can be installed on all manual versions of these motorcycles. Yeah, you can install additional USB ports. You can install keyless system on every motorcycle as well. But there is like certain things which you cannot, basically you cannot install even if you want to pay for that. Right? And now let's talk about it. So Tracer 9 here in Europe, it starts from 12,800 euros. To be really precise, 12,799 for like absolutely base version. But if you want to get Y-AMT, it's gonna come at the price of 14,199. And that is interesting because if you want to get GT version, it's gonna be 16,199. And then if you want to get GT version Y-AMT, it's going to be 17,399. So if you look at it, you will see that Tracer 9 base version versus Tracer 9 base Y-AMT, the difference in price is almost 2.5 thousand euros. And for 2.5 thousand euros, you only get heated grips and basically self-canceling indicators and automatic gearbox itself, right? If you look at Tracer 9 GT, the difference is only 1200 euros. Yeah, 1200 euros. And for 1200 euros difference, you get backlit switch gear, useful feature. You get hill hold system, nice feature as well. And you get linked brakes, again, nice. So I don't understand what Yamaha thinks and why they do it this way. So with the cheaper version of Tracer 9, the difference is much bigger and you don't really get much with automatic transmission over the manual one. Where with Tracer 9 GT, it's kind of useful features which you want to have. If you get Tracer 9 GT lineup instead of Tracer 9, so you're gonna get electronic windshield, which not gonna be installed, no possibility to install on base version of the bike. You get semi-active suspension, again not possible to install on base version. You get keyless features, I talk about them, not possible to install on base version. You get Garmin navigation, not possible to install again to base version. You get matrix headlights, not possible to install. And then you get, if you get Y-AMT, you also get backlit switchgear, hill hold system, and link brakes. None of those can be installed on base variant of Yamaha Tracer 9. Tracer 9 GT will cost you 19,299, which is like close to 20k, right? And with that one, you get radar tech, right? So everything related to radar, brake assist, adaptive cruise control, you get all this like suspension thing. These features cannot be installed neither to base variant of the bike nor to GT. So it's like it's specifically unique for GT Plus. I promised you in the end of this video that I'm gonna tell you what I think is gonna be the most popular bike. And first I was doing my analysis, but then I just I posted few polls on Yamaha Tracer groups online, and I asked people to vote like which bikes they're gonna get: 9 Y-AMT, 9 GT, GT Automatic, or GT Plus. And what is interesting is Tracer 9 GT manual is going to be the most popular motorcycle because there is certain resistance with, you know, for automatic gearboxes on the motorcycle. Not like many people ready to ride automatic yet. Also, I think the GT Plus is too expensive, and in my opinion, like, it worth every penny. So when people look at GT Plus price, it's already playing in this league with BMW and Ducati, and yeah, I mean, people will just like, oh, it's Yamaha, so yeah, it's better to have European brand or American brand because it's kind of more prestigious. So I don't think Yamaha will sell many GT Plus motorcycles outside of certain countries in Europe. I think that Italy and Germany probably will be countries where they sell the most of GT Pluses. Tracer 9 base Y-AMT, in my opinion, is probably a little bit too expensive for many people because yeah, 14.5k for base variant where you don't even get hill hold assist or you don't get like Garmin navigation. It's already kind of too much, and that's the reason why in some countries Yamaha don't even sell it, because it doesn't make any sense. Most people will get Tracer 9 GT manual because it is the best value. It is what people know in terms of the gearbox. It has all the features which you need for long distance trips, and also it's just a great bike for the money you pay. Again, it's just great value. Yeah, that's probably it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it's been helpful, and if you guys have any questions or if you want me to review or give you feedback on some specific things about this motorcycle, drop your comments below this video. I might record another video, or I will just do maybe Q&A video. If you're not subscribed yet, just subscribe to my channel. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.